to the platform. We're checking your presidential candidate statements and track record on the RH bill. Let's go to Senator Richard Gordon's take on reproductive health.
Ang pakay ng gobyerno dapat respetuhin ang choice ng pamilya kung ano ang kind of quality and quantity that their family must have.
Okay, Sylvia, you gave him a score of?
I gave him a score of half.
Half shade.
Quarter ba ako?
You gave him a quarter shade.
Yeah. I gave him a quarter shade. And
Yes.
I'll tell you why. Here's where earlier I referred to people who should show a little bit more wisdom about what they're talking about. It is very clear in the standards for reproductive rights and reproductive health. This is an international standard, the program of action of the International Conference on Population and Development, to which our government is a signatory, that there should be no incentives or disincentives about reproduction. So if somebody wants to have 10 children, please support them.
Yes.
If somebody wants to have no children, please support them. If a family only wants to, then we should support them. That's what government is saying.
Okay.
So when he says in his campaign that he will put punishments for people
Have
who
more
have
than
more than
two
two children, this
Yeah.
is not a reproductive health position. I don't know why he brings this up.
So are
in
you saying
answer.
he's not aware of the RH?
I don't
the
think he
spirit
knows
of
what
the
he's
RH
talking
bill?
about, honestly.
Okay.
So this is why I would not. This is why I criticize him. This is the basis of my criticism.
And for
of his
that, a
position.
quarter shade.
Exactly.
Okay, Mon, you also say that Dick Gordon makes contradicting statements.
He does. But except for two things, I like everything that he's saying about the whole issue of reproductive health. What I don't like about his statement so far is when he said he would mandate only up to 3.
Two,
as
actually.
a number of children.
Yes.
We don't think that anyone has the right to impose upon parents or even upon the state. Secondly, he said also that he would not put money to buy contraceptives. I think he's being advised wrongly on this matter. If you are supportive of a certain policy, then you have to put resources on it. But still, in the vision, the quality, and quantity of population, I'll give them 3/4.
All right, a 3/4 worth. Okay, next the shade that you gave him is 3/4, right?
Yeah.
And you gave him a quarter.
Yes, I think you're right.
All right. Next, let's move on to our next candidate, Brother Eddie Villanueva, and see what he has to say about the RH bill.
However, it is the duty of the government to educate and enlighten the people to have a no-nonsense family planning or responsible parenthood without violating the will and commandments of God and the laws of morality.
Okay, Sylvia, you gave him a half shade. Why?
I think because on the one hand, I like the fact that he does mention that the government must educate people and support their choices. But here again, he brings in this religious test about what the policy should be, and this frightens me especially. Sometimes the issues of reproductive health go, as I said, beyond the issue just of reproductive health itself.
Why isn't reproductive health an issue of faith?
Yes, it is, and that's why I think that all faiths can be respected if you pass this bill. Let me add that the other thing that many of the candidates have been saying, almost all of them, which is why I never gave any of them a full, is this issue of I'm for reproductive health but I'm not for abortion. The reproductive health bill says nothing about abortion in the issue. That one is also, it's a bogey that they will bring in to pretend as if they're moral, when that has nothing to do with the issue at hand.
All right. Mon, you had a dialogue with Brother Eddie Villanueva. Your group had a dialogue with him.
Yes, and we were fortunate for giving us a chance. And upon 2 hours of dialogue, we see his sincerity in the entire slate of Bangon, that they believe on family planning. They believe on the rights of women and the parents to decide on their family and their and the future. And they think that the state has the responsibility on family planning. And I know his religion as well. He's an evangelical, which believes on reproductive health.
All right.
It's part of their practice of faith, and for which I give him reports.
Why not the full shade?
Well, I know that he's exactly for the reason that Sylvia gave, that at times our faith and religion can also be a hindrance to fully supporting a particular issue.
Okay, and our next presidential bill is Nick Perlas. Let's hear his stand on this issue.
Number one, against ako sa abortion. Number two, but in favor pa ako sa right of people sa information and as well as methods of contraception before conception na para matulungan sila.
Okay, Sylvia, before we listen to Nick Perlas, you did talk about candidates who bring in the abortion card. And he just did.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I think you're starting a discussion which deserves far more than against ako sa abortion. I think that's a pogi point. It's either you're making pogi points or you really don't know what you're talking about. What are you against in terms of abortion? If it's an ectopic pregnancy, if it's a pregnancy that results in rape, if it's a pregnancy for other therapeutic methods, are you against this? We have found that this overwhelming against ako sa abortion because it's bad has led to a lot of medical violations on the part of the doctors who hear this. And we have the research to show it.
All right.
That women's rights are violated because they are perceived to have had an abortion, some of which is spontaneous, and yet they are stigmatized within government and private facilities.
Okay, you gave him a half shade, and Mon, you also
Half
gave
shade,
him a half shade.
yeah.
Why?
I like Perlas, for he understands exactly where the civil society is coming from. The sustainable development framework is very clear in his mind and by his own practice. But I don't think he has given much attention on the issue of women's health, women's rights, and family welfare. And I think there is some part of the bill that he doesn't really understand, for which I think it becomes convenient to him to mention abortion without really knowing fully what is it in the bill.
In the bill.
So I would encourage him to study further, and how I wish in the context of sustainable development he will just say, I fully support the RH bill, because those are two consistent
Why do
things.
we have this perception that abortion is part of the RH bill?
Because that's what the church has been saying, the Catholic Church particularly. And I think among politicians, to them it is safe to tag the same bill as abortion, so as to be seen as someone sympathetic with the Catholic bishops. But it did not help certain candidates, and I won't think it will be helpful. So I would rather see them straightforward, stating whether they are no or against.
Okay.
Period.
All right.
Pero to be fair, Mon and Cheche, all the candidates have raised the abortion bogey on this one, on this card.
Yes. Maybe it's convenient, and maybe it's...
It's also being asked frequently to them.
That's right. That's right. And maybe ignorance on the part of media.
But they should know their legislations. That's why they're running for president. And
All